Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just got this delivered in my mail today, and it's an electric guitar from the company called AKLOT. You can see here from the logo. They were so nice into sending me this electric guitar. So today I'm gonna be unboxing it and reviewing it, going through the different features and even testing the tone and playability and giving you guys my honest opinions. And in case you're not very familiar with the brand, AKLOT is a Chinese-based company and they usually make ukuleles and pianos, but they just released a brand new electric guitar line called STR Crest, and I'm so excited to unbox it and test it out. So without further ado, let's get straight into unboxing. By the way, this is the case that the guitar came in. It is a very compact and gray case. It is actually very spacious for an electric guitar because usually they're a bit tinier, and I'm wondering what's inside because it looks also a bit heavy, but let's find out. Alright, so there's actually a lot going on in this guitar case. Apparently it comes with an amp, and then I also see a guitar strap which looks super cool, by the way. It has flames all over. So nice. I'm gonna set it up later with the guitar. Then what else do I see? I see a tuner. And then lastly, we have the tremolo bar, of course, to set up with the guitar. I think there's more stuff in the front pocket. Yes, so inside of here we have more accessories that come with the case, the AKLOT case. And let's see what we have inside. Perfect. A cable to play, just what I needed. Then we got the amplifier's instruction paper. We got a cleaner. And then lastly, actually we have a few more things. A pack of strings, a pack of picks. There's about 3 picks in here, and based on the texture, it looks like they're the ones that are anti-slip, which are my favorite, by the way. I don't know how they knew that. Then lastly, we have some more tools to adjust the truss rod and guitar action. Then, I feel like there's more. Actually, I see 2 books. This is the electric guitar guide that comes with the guitar. And I think at the beginning of the book, it basically starts by explaining the beginning and the evolution of the electric guitar. And then it describes the guitar and the speaker that are in this case. And then it basically sets you up with the guitar, how to hold a pick. It has all sort of things. After the introduction part, it already teaches you how to play sounds. So there's a lot of sheet music that you can find. That is very, very useful. Look at that. That's amazing. I'm definitely keeping this. And lastly, this is the instruction manual specifically for this guitar. So it basically explains how to set up everything, how to tune your guitar, and it even shows you how to change strings in your guitar. This is great. So far, I'm very impressed with everything that comes with this guitar. I mean, an amp, really? I've never ever bought a guitar that comes with a portable practice amp. That is super useful. But anyways, let's get into the real deal, the actual guitar. It is a Strat style guitar, color blue. And there we have it. This is the AKLOT STR guitar. I feel like it's the same exact weight of my other Strat style guitars that I own, which is a good sign. It means that it's well made. And first of all, this looks very, very beautiful. I am so glad that I chose this color. And over here you have the brand name along with all the genres that this guitar can play. But technically, as a guitarist, you should be able to play everything with all sort of guitars. So starting from the pickup configuration, we have a HSS configuration. H stands for humbucker and the double S stands for single coil. So this makes this guitar very, very versatile, meaning that you can switch between having humbuckers and single coils, which allows you to basically play every genre you can think of. Plus, it has a coil split, which is this switch over here, that makes you switch between humbucker and single coil playing when you are on the bridge pickup. The rest of the pickups, such as the neck and the middle, are single coils, but they still give you that very warm and rich sound. This is probably my favorite features in guitars of this type when they have HSS configurations, because I can be super versatile and play basically everything. One thing that I do like about this guitar is particularly the switch, instead of usually having to press to switch between humbucker and single coil. So that's really nice. Moving forward, we have the neck. The neck looks like it's dyed with rosewood, but it is actually made of yatuba. The materials are very, very similar, and it would actually give you the illusion that this is made of rosewood, and you can't really tell the difference. It does feel very smooth at the touch, but we're gonna test it out later. Moving forward with tuners, these are pretty standard tuners. They're not locking tuners, but then again, this is an entry-level beginner guitar, so it's pretty normal for you to have standard tuners and not locking ones. But we're gonna test the tuning stability later on. I am so far really enjoying this guitar. I'd like to maybe try the tuner to see how well it works. Right now it's not really out of tune, but I think a couple of strings could be done better. So let's set it up quickly. I'm gonna be using the picks that came with the guitar, because they do seem like the ones that I would use on a daily, since they have this 3D texture that make it anti-slip. Yes, the guitar did come in tune, and the tuner works perfectly. It's a very simple chromatic tuner, and it gets the job done. But I approve of the tuner. It seems to have a perfect action. I wouldn't really do anything to the setup of this guitar. It seems fine for me. Of course, it comes down to personal preference, but I do like a low action on my guitar because I play a lot of R&B and neo soul stuff. But of course, if you feel like you would like to do some adjustments, the guitar did come with a couple Allen keys that you can use to adjust it and set it up to your preference. One last thing that I forgot to mention is about the fretboard markers. You see these dots that are on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th fret, etc. These dots actually glow in the dark. They have a glow in dark feature, meaning that when you're playing in the dark, you can use these dots that illuminate to direct yourself and see where you're playing. This is very useful for a beginner when you still don't know and you're not familiar with the positions of the guitar or the fret numbers, etc. You can use the dots to play even in the dark. Super cool. But let's check out the pack of strings that it came with. I think it's gonna be light gauge, like 1046. It doesn't really say here, but it does look like a light gauge. But I'm not going to change strings right now because the one that it came with seemed to be very bright and clear. Next, we're gonna test out the amp. But first, I'm gonna set up my guitar strap because it looks super cool and it matches with my shirt. Also, one little thing I forgot to do is to set up this tremolo bar on the guitar. So I'm gonna just do that quickly before we get to test the amp. Alright, so now that we're all set, it's time to test out the amp. This is the box that it came in. It's supposed to be a 10-volt amplifier, so it's just meant to be for home practice. This is what it looks like. It almost looks like a little radio. I really like the design of it. And you can control the aux volume, the gain, the tone, the volume, and then there's a button right here that you can use to switch between clean channel or distorted channel. That makes this amp pretty versatile, I'd say. It also came with a USB cable that we're gonna use to power it on. All right, so I'm gonna leave the amp right here. I think you can still see it on the frame, but I'm also gonna use the cable that the guitar came with to plug it in the amp and try a few things, a few licks, see what it sounds like. Okay, so right now I'm on the clean channel. The clean channel looks green, by the way, and when you press it, the distorted one is red. So right now I'm leaving it on the clean channel. I'm gonna set the tone to about half, and I'll keep the gain all the way down, same as the aux volume, because we don't have any headphones plugged in, so we don't really need it right now. It sounds pretty clean and simple. Again, this is a very simple amp and portable amp, so I don't think it's supposed to do much, but it does get the job done. Plus, it's so small and portable, so you don't have to worry about bothering anybody, which I really like. And again, it also has a headphone jack, so if you want to be extremely quiet too, you can just plug in your headphones here and play through the amp through your headphone. And if you want to play music into this amp while you're practicing, there's also an aux port that you can plug in and play your backing tracks. But let's try something a bit more crunchy and distorted. First, I'm going to switch channels. Then I'm going to turn up the gain and turn down the tone so that it doesn't make this buzzing sound. And for this, I might use the bridge pickup and turn on the humbucker so it gives this thicker sound. I like how the distorted channel sounds as well. It sounds pretty great, and you can play a bunch of songs with the ability to switch between clean and distorted. So I really like this amp overall, and I'm gonna maybe try and play something a bit more bluesy and crunchy. So to do that, I'm gonna still keep it on the distorted channel, but turn off the gain a little bit, increase the tone, and keep the volume as is. And maybe use the neck pickup so that it sounds a bit thicker. Sounds great. I am satisfied with the amp as well as the guitar so far. But to give you a real idea of how this guitar sounds, I'm gonna be playing over a backing track straight into my DAW, plugged into my computer, so that you get a clear and clean sound out of this guitar. And I'm gonna be giving you guys a full breakdown of how this guitar sounds, meaning that I'm gonna be switching between the neck, middle, and bridge pickup, all using the humbucker. And I'm gonna be switching between tones. So I'm gonna start with a clean tone, go with a more crunchy tone, and then go with a even more distorted tone to play maybe a lead guitar lick. This way you're gonna get a full idea of how this guitar sounds. But so far, based on what I've done and what I've tried with the amp, I am very satisfied with this guitar. And apparently this is meant to be a beginner-friendly guitar, but I feel like it excels in that, because a beginner that doesn't know even much about guitar, they would find themselves to be very comfortable playing this guitar. So far I'm very satisfied with this instrument. It is very, very well made. It looks solid. It is solid. Every single component It is made very well. It doesn't give you that cheap look at all. And by the way, I really like the cream pick guard. It gives it this vintage vibe. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and play over some backing tracks, and after that I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion. But I really hope you're enjoying the video so far, and let's get straight into playing. Alright, so recorded professionally, I'd say that this guitar sounds great. I really like the feel of it and how smooth it felt, and I had no issues whatsoever switching between chords or anything like that, because the finish is really well made. And shout out to AKLOT for making this guitar. I am super satisfied. And so tone wise, I'd say it sounds great. The tone mainly comes from the pickups, and they're not the best quality pickups, of course, because this is a beginner friendly and budget guitar. But still, I feel like considering the price, it sounds more than great. It does not give that overly cheap or plastic tone, which is a great sign. As you heard before, I was playing a bit of crunchy, a bit of overdrive, and also clean tones, and I had no issues with any of those tones. I feel like it sounded pretty decent. Now the feel is probably my favorite part to talk about. The neck feels super smooth, and it's not rosewood, as I already said, but you can't really even tell the difference, and you can move up across the neck with so much ease, and that is something that is super important if you're making a guitar for beginners, because already they don't know much about the instruments. You don't want to make their life harder by setting up badly or having a crusty or stiff neck. But this guitar does not have any of that. It feels super smooth also from the back, as you can see, and it's not too thick either, so I feel like a beginner guitarist would feel very comfortable playing this, and I myself felt great in terms of feel. So that I am super content with it. And then build wise, they did not use the most expensive components, of course. One thing that I would change would be the tuning pegs. I myself prefer having locking tuners, so that's something that I would consider upgrading. And also I feel like this is a very good platform for you to mod on. So let's say that you want to change up pickups and upgrade them into better pickups. You can do that with this guitar because it is a very stable platform to do that. You could easily make it sound like a higher range guitar. Although I did say that it didn't have locking tuners, which affect tuning stability, this guitar stayed in tune throughout the whole song performance and also while I was trying out the amp. So in terms of tuning stability, I'd say that it is very stable. Of course, after hours and hours of playing, it's gonna get out of tune, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stability in general. So how often do I have to retune the guitar? And I've been playing this guitar for about an hour, and I did not even once have to retune it. And even if I retune it now, and if I check right now, it is definitely gonna be in tune because it sounded amazing even when I was playing to the backing track. So overall, I am extremely satisfied with this guitar, and I'm very thankful for AKLOT for sending me this over and letting me try it. I definitely recommend this guitar, especially for beginner or intermediate guitarists. This will not disappoint you. This feels stable, and the reason why I really recommend this guitar is because it comes with a bunch of accessories. Plus, you get to try it with a mini amplifier, which is very unusual for guitars. Plus, it comes with books. And not one, but 2 books that you can read with this guitar. And it's precise, stable, comfortable. I have no complaints over here. Of course, you're free to mod on it and improve the pickups and maybe put some locking tuners, but that comes to personal preference. But generally speaking, this is an amazing tool, and if you are thinking of starting your journey with guitar and you're not sure what to buy, this is something that I will definitely recommend. If you're learning to play guitar, the most important thing that I'd say is to be comfortable with your instrument. And to do that, you need to choose an instrument that is really well made so that you don't struggle playing stuff that you already don't know really well and that you're trying to learn. I feel like the AKLOT SDR Crest excels into giving you a tool to kickstart your journey. But thank you so much for watching this video and for supporting me. You can feel free to comment any guitar recommendations and suggestions that you have, or if you have any questions about this guitar in particular, you can also feel free to do that. I'm also gonna add this guitar into my Linktree, link in my bio, so in case you want to purchase one, you can do it directly from there, and I'm gonna leave all of that into my description. And again, thank you so much for watching my videos. And if you're new to this channel and you want to see more of my videos, then feel free to subscribe. Thanks for the AKLOT team for sending me this beauty. I'm gonna be using this on a daily from now on. And thank you so much, guys, and see you on the next one.